Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. The government shutdown is one on the priority. Bill Maher goes off on Tucker, which I have to let you guys know about. And also, I cannot believe that bomber on J6 was an inside job. Somebody explain to me, but we will get to it in a minute. And Islam is out of control and is the biggest threat to America, and we're going to talk about it. Welcome to the Officer Tatum show.
If you don't believe that we are in a fight today, you're sleeping under a rock. If you get hit and you lay down and you cry and you fold up in the corner, definitely you will not win the fight. We show up to win. Our culture needs a lot of you young people in here to step up and stand out. There is nothing or no principality, power, division, devil can stop us when we're united. They can only get you when you're divided. When I see the American flag, I see us progressing to something that can be awesome and great. And if you don't plan on winning then, you might as well go home today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Officer Tatum Show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, my new channel, the Officer Tatum Show. And I have an Espanol channel. So if you got some family members that speak Spanish, then go on and tell them to subscribe to that other channel. It's all in Spanish. And subscribe to everything I'm on social media. You can get the Instagram, the X, all of it. If you want to see me there, all you got to do is subscribe to my channel. Like and subscribe to this video, or like this video, comment on this video. Let's get into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the government shutdown. You know, this has gone on for way too long. The Democrats tried to, pull their cards out, and they ended up losing their cards. They want illegal aliens to be funded all the way through January the 30th. That's pretty much what it is. The government is going to potentially shut down again January the 30th of 2026. So they did all this fighting. They shut the government down for 40 days, the longest shutdown in United States history, just to have another discussion about it January 30th. They could have agreed to this. Now, some of the people that worked through the shutdown, I think I read reports that they're going to get like a $10,000 bonus to people who actually worked through and didn't take off work like a coward and they just kept pushing through. I'm just saying, maybe you needed to do that, but some of y'all were doing that because you were being rebellious, and others, you left your battle buddies out there where they had to grind it out. But also, one thing I want to make a point is that people just don't understand like the difference between a furlough and a person getting actually having to work, like a mandatory worker that is getting paid, but the pay is delayed until the government opens. So there was about 670,000 federal workers who were furloughed. That means no work and no money. That means that you didn't make no money. If you had bills, you had debt, you were screwed. Now, people who were federal workers who were mandatory or mandated to work, they just hadn't gotten a check, they get paid back pay after the government reopens, and I think they gave them a bonus. But that was about 730,000 people that were affected. So effectively, about 1.3 million plus federal employees were affected by the government shutdown. But you know who wasn't affected by the government shutdown? Congress. The people who shut the government down didn't take no pay hit. I'm telling you, like in the future, we need to make sure that these people lose money if they playing with your money. So pull up my computer. I'm going to show you guys what the media is saying about it. And just for clarification purposes, the government isn't reopened yet, right? The Senate passed what they call the first stage, but then it has to go to the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has to pass it, and then the president signs it. So we're not quite there, but when the Senate capitulated to the Republican side of it, it appears that the House of Representatives will do the same. But let's see with me, join me real quick and see who's talking about this. A whole bunch of articles about this. You look up at the top, there's about 800 articles written about this. Seems to be pretty even on the left and the right. Obviously, most of it is in the center because I think most people do care about this topic. Is the government shutdown ending is what the left says. The left says 6 takeaways from the Senate's deal to end the shutdown. Senate Democrats cave on healthcare to end the 40-day U.S. government shutdown. Let's see what the right is talking about. We go over to the right. U.S. senators, they reach a deal to end the shutdown. All seems about the same. Pathetic. Senate Democrats cave. I mean, obviously the Senate Democrats are calling it pathetic. Major breaking. Senate reacts or reaches a deal to end the government shutdown. So what it seems to be, and I think that this is appropriate because of the way the country is viewing this, is that this should not be a partisan thing. The government shutdown is coming to an end should be a thing that everybody celebrates. The government shouldn't be shutting down in the first place. Let's see what they say in the middle of the aisle. Speaker Johnson says U.S. House will return to Washington to vote on shutdown deal. End of the record-long U.S. government shutdown in sight. It's all about the same. But at least you know how people are commenting on this, especially the people in the media. And one thing I love about Ground.News is that if you don't feel like reading all that stuff like I just did, you can go right here to the top. Pick your topic. You can click left. There's a synopsis there. You click the right. There's a synopsis. It generalizes all of the articles that's inputted in the system to give you a really good, clean perspective. So if you're like me, you just breeze over this. You don't have to go read all this. But when you get to the nitty gritty and you want to know more details, you do this and then you go read more. All right. Make sure you don't forget about the blind spot. This is a part where if you're on the left, these are the articles that you need to be paying attention to because the left ain't covering them. If you're on the right, these are the articles you need to be paying attention to because the right ain't covering them. So let's get to some of the clips that we have queued up for you guys. And I think these are going to be, very interesting clips. Let's go to Chucky Schumer. Clip 101, wrote a clip.
Premiums will spike by thousands of dollars a month. Millions will lose insurance. Democrats have sounded the alarm. We have demanded for months to meet with the Republican leadership. But Republican leaders refuse to even discuss the issue, let alone negotiate it. We've asked them to meet in the summer and throughout the shutdown. To this day, Republicans still say no. We asked President Trump to step in and meet with us to deliver lower health care for Americans, and instead, Donald Trump has taken the American people hostage.
Donald Trump.
From cutting off food, aid to hungry families and vets and seniors and kids, to manufacturing flight cancellations, to cutting off home heating aid, while he builds a billion-dollar ballroom with gold-plated toilets. Therefore,
if you see him when you die, you went to hell. I just want you to know. Just on here lying his teeth out. Listen, bruh. Donald Trump is not in Congress. Y'all are the ones that can't agree. Y'all are the ones that are not voting. Y'all are the ones shutting down the government. Y'all are the ones shouldn't get paid. Y'all doing it, not Trump. And then you say he's manufacturing this while he does a ballroom. The ballroom is private funds from individual people that Donald Trump knows. The government is not paying for the ballroom. Private funding. And I put that on everything. You will never see Chucky Schumer in any video talking about when Barack Obama spent $300 million on renovation of the White House. People don't even know Barack Obama did that when he was in office because they didn't care. It's only when Trump does something. Private funding. Let Chucky finish. Wrote a clip.
Therefore, I must vote no. This health care crisis is so severe, so urgent, so devastating for families back home that I cannot in good faith support this CR that fails to address the health care crisis. But let me be clear, however this vote turns out, this fight will and must continue. Democrats must fight because of millions of families will lose health care coverage. We must fight because children who are dying of cancer will not get health care coverage. We must fight because a senior citizen cannot afford to pay $25,000 a year just for health insurance. We must fight to keep millions from financial ruin. And make no mistake about it, the American people know who is inflicting this health care trauma on them, Donald Trump and the Republicans. Americans will remember Republican intransigence every time they make a sky-high payment on health insurance. So we are going to fight legislatively, fight back home, fight in the courts, and bring this fight in the elections. Health care costs made a major impact on the 2025 election, and they will certainly have an even greater impact on the 2026 election. So in conclusion, the contrast between the two parties is crystal clear. Republicans are the party hell-bent on taking people's health care away, all to bow to the billionaire elite and special interests. Democrats are united as the party of lower health care costs and improving our health care system. We will not give up this fight. We will deliver for the American people. I yield the floor.
You know, I wish these people weren't so fake, man. It's all a partisan thing. I was saying earlier, and I didn't mean it 100%, but I said I wish I'd have never gotten into politics. Why couldn't I do something else with my talents and abilities? I could have just been in business or finance or something. I could have done something. Politics is so shady and stupid, and people are nuts. I don't even know how people believe Chuck Schumer. You think the Republicans are saying, like as if Republicans don't pay for health care. They act like health care is only Democrats pay for health care. Republicans have to pay health care costs too. And you saying Republicans are saying, we just want everybody to get screwed. Y'all are the ones that are trying to mandate that people get on government health care. Y'all are the ones that had the Obama penalty. That means if you didn't sign up for Obamacare, you get a penalty. You know, it's very crazy because the attack should be on the healthcare providers. It shouldn't be on the American people and trying to raise taxes. They're overcharging people for stuff. You know, my youngest son, his birth, we paid the doctor out of our pocket to do the delivery. And it was, I would argue, probably cheaper than if you tried to do it through the insurance company. We just paid him out of pocket. We just paid our doula, paid him out of pocket to do the delivery. If you did it at home, you wouldn't even have to pay the hospital bills. And I'm not encouraging everybody to do it at home, but some people probably should do it at home and not do it at the hospital. They tell you to do this stuff at the hospital. How do you think people were giving birth way back in the day? They weren't at the hospital. And yeah, there was reasons why you would go to the hospital, but that's not for everybody. Now they've tricked everybody, healthy women, telling them to go to the hospital. And then they lay you on your back and have you push a baby out in an unnatural position when you probably should be standing up, or you're probably squatting down. You could probably do it in water. There's so many. We got a doula. There's so many things that they trick you into doing that you shouldn't be doing. All those vaccinations, we didn't give Bo no vaccinations. He didn't need them. He's healthy. He's just fine. He don't need all those vaccinations. And you should be studying and finding out if your child need all of them. You may want to give them a few. I don't know. That's you. We didn't give them none. But all of them, they shooting your kid up with all kinds of stuff. Coming back 20 at a time. You have no idea because it's one shot, but it's 20 doses at a time. It's so fake. Delayed cord clamping, skin to skin, all this stuff that they don't tell you because they don't care. But anyway, we should be railing them and not trying to extract taxes from the taxpayer to subsidize some of these companies. All right, let's get to I want to say something about Bernie. Then we're going to play people that got common sense. So let's go to Bernie real quick. This is what he said last night. Bernie Sanders, clip 103.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million
Americans. Now he said walk
doubling,
with us.
And in some cases, tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we are already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number 2, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. Studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the
before I cuss. This dude is so silly to me. They live in an alternate reality. They give $1 trillion tax cuts to the billionaires. They act like billionaires just inherited some money from somebody doing business 1,000 years ago. They giving tax breaks to, you say, Elon Musk? Okay, when you have a company, like for instance, let me just give y'all some insight real quick. There's people that work with me, they don't cover their own health care somehow out of their pocket. We have a business health care plan. And the more people we have, the better deals that we can get them. We pay for the health care, and then they have to pay a certain portion. Now, we just changed the thing that we did because everybody was covered at 100%. We had to change it up a little bit because when we started out with just a few of us, and it was crazy expensive. And now we got all these people, we got to kind of measure it, right? People that have been with us for long enough, they get a little benefit by having 100% coverage. Everybody will be covered at 100% after a certain time. We got to make sure people stay and they're dedicated to what we're doing, and then they get 100% coverage. But we still cover, I think, 75% of the new people that just start coming on. But still, they don't have to cover insurance out of pocket. They have a benefit through a corporate insurance deal that we do, and we pay for the majority of it. I don't understand when they say billionaire, the millionaire, all these people who are making money, they work for corporations. And these corporations are footing the bill for majority of their health care. What is he saying? They're like, giving tax benefits to billionaires is not somehow hurting the people because the billionaires are the one to provide insurance for people. All right. Let's keep going. That went over somebody's head. Clip 104. Roll it.
Good morning, everybody. I'm very thankful to see you all this morning. I'm thankful to welcome you to what appears to be the beginning of the end of the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, as shameful as that is. I don't think it's coincidental. You know how I think, but it's after 40 days of wandering in the wilderness and making the American people suffer needlessly. Some Senate Democrats finally have stepped forward to end the pain. It appears to us this morning that our long national nightmare is finally coming to an end, and we're grateful for that. At least some Democrats now finally appear ready to do what Republicans and President Trump and millions of hardworking American people have been asking them to do for weeks. As we said from the beginning, the people's government cannot be held hostage to further anyone's political agenda. That was never right. And shutting down the government never produces anything. It never has, if you study history.
Let's go to, let's go to clip 105. Roll it.
Let's be clear. The Republicans run the House. The Republicans run the Senate. The Republicans run the White House. The Republicans run the Supreme Court, as far as I'm concerned. This was a choice by Republicans to cut SNAP benefits. This was a choice by Republicans to cut ACA subsidies. This was a choice by the Republicans to gut the federal government and federal employment. Democrats had nothing to do with it. I want an opposition party. I think the Democrats caved. I think the Democrats let down the American people. And like you, Whoopi, I have absolutely no faith that the Republican Party will come to the negotiating table in good faith. You know, you do something like this, shame on you the first time. You do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, shame on me. Shame on the Democrats for even believing that the Republicans will, even vote on it. There's no guarantee in this New Deal that there's going to be a vote. There's no even commitment to have a vote. So the bottom line is the Democrats went into this after a blue wave out of the American people saying...
Shut this lady up. I ain't got time for it. All right, y'all heard her complaining, just like people like her do. At the end of the day, the government should not shut down. The people that we elect need to be able to come to an amicable agreement. It is insane and nonsensical that people are blaming millionaires and tax cuts when these corporations and these medical facilities should be giving us a discount. I'm telling you, and I'm moving on from this, but I remember going to the hospital not too long ago because we wanted our son to go to a holistic hospital. We didn't want him going to the regular thing because they get mad at you because you're not vaccinated and they don't want to serve you. So we take him to it and we paid out of pocket. You start to realize when you take your kids certain places that don't take insurance, that in a lot of cases it's cheaper for you just to pay out of pocket. Unless you got a sick child or something, you just pay out of pocket. Because you're paying these crazy premiums all year long. You got to reach a crazy deductible. And by the time you're done doing all that, you're not even using the insurance. We were at a regular hospital. We went somewhere to do something. I can't remember what it was. And they go, if you pay now, it's like you get 40% off. I'm like, wait a minute. If I paid you right now, I'll get 40. It'll be 40% cheaper than if you bill my insurance. And it came out to being like $200 or something. I'm like, you could have said that. I could have paid you now. It's a scam. But they don't want to talk to the hospitals and talk to the, these corporations, and they don't want to get on these medical facilities, the United Healthcare and all these other companies that give you medical insurance. They don't want to get on them. They mad at the billionaires. It's crazy to me. Let's get to another topic, probably a topic that I care about a little more. This January 6th situation. So now it's being reported, not confirmed. This girl having gone through the due process, the court of law. But it's alleged that this was an inside job when it comes to the bombing, the pipe bomb, fake pipe bomb thing that they had thrown out there during January 6th. All right, roll clip 501.
Former Capitol Police Officer Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff has been identified as a forensic match to the elusive January 6th pipe bomber, exposing what many are calling the ultimate deep state cover-up. According to investigative reporting from Blaze Media, advanced gate analysis software produced a staggering 94 to 98% match between Kirchhoff's movements and the hooded suspect captured on surveillance footage planting explosive devices near the DNC and RNC headquarters on January 5, 2021. This former officer, who testified against January 6 defendants and now reportedly works in CIA security, embodies the corrupt networks that weaponized chaos to undermine Trump's America First agenda. This discovery shatters the narrative peddled by the mainstream media and Democrat-led committees that painted peaceful patriots as insurrectionists. The silence from legacy media outlets is deafening, fueling accusations that this was all part of a coordinated psyop to smear Trump and his millions of loyal voters. Sources close to the investigation highlight Kirchhoff's proximity to key events, including her role in the Capitol's civil disturbance unit on that fateful day, and early Google searches for her name in the D.C. area just days after the incident, suggesting insiders knew and buried the truth. Trump, who has repeatedly called January 6th a hoax orchestrated by the FBI and Pelosi's allies, now stands taller than ever as this evidence emerges amid his triumphant return to power. Patriots are urged to share this far and wide, bypassing the complicit press to ensure the real culprits face justice and prevent future setups against the MAGA movement. This wasn't a lone actor but a web of handlers and operatives inflicting psychological warfare on the American public, shattering lives and dividing the nation. With Kirchhoff's involvement thrust into the light, every connected individual, from FBI brass to Capitol insiders, must be exposed, indicted, and tried. Trump's vision of a secure, sovereign America demands nothing less, turning the tables on those who sought to destroy him and restoring faith in a government truly by and for the people.
That's not biased at all. But anyway, let me just say this. I think it's important to identify that they lied. And I don't understand why we even are shocked at this from the beginning, because I knew they lied and they set us up when they did it. Me and the wife didn't even go down there. I said, I'm not going to the Capitol building. I'm not going down there because they're going to set us up. Somebody going to get into a fight, something going to happen, and they're going to blame Trump. And what do you know? People went down there and did all that stuff. Nobody's shocked. Nobody should be shocked. They set us up. They did all that crazy stuff. Some people are stupid too. Don't get it twisted. We got people on our side stupid, as you can tell. And they went in there and did all that stupid stuff, and they want to go viral on social media, and they got Nancy Pelosi's podium, and they doing all this so crazy stuff, and they went to jail. And then they want to play the victim. But I knew they were going to try to set us up. But if this ends up being true, where a ex-Capitol cop set up a fake pipe bomb threat, which it was an actual device, it just didn't explode, that people need to go to jail over this. People need to go to jail over this. All right. I think I've said enough. I think that's all I want to talk about today. All right, I'm done with this. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my